tired of getting Nibiru? Bro, I got you, man. Here are 20 ways to counter the card. Just before we start into the video, I would like to ask you guys to like and subscribe if you don't mind. Really helps me out a lot, and let's get right into it. Alright, so the first card would be Drag Down into the Grave. This card is a little sketch because there is a way it can kind of backfire if your opponent didn't have a hand trap in the first place and then draws into a hand trap from it, but you get a lot of good hand knowledge from your opponent when you use the card, even though it is an inherent neg 1. The second card is actually really similar, but this time has a bit less drawbacks, but also is a neg 1, and that one is Exchange. So in Infernobles, I actually think this card is really good because you can just give like some crappy monsters that you didn't really need to your opponent, like the monster that you search with Isolde, and then not only make sure you make your opponent lose a hand trap, but also scout your opponent's hand so you can time your interruptions better. After that, we have Crossout Designator, an extremely popular card, so as long as you have one copy of Nibiru in your deck, you can banish it and negate Nibiru. Appaloosa before or on your 5th summon is also another great out. A Tri-Brigade can actually do it in less than 5 summons because they can kind of cheat it out by summoning Link 2s immediately and then linking off with like 3 monsters and that's it. Herald of Orange Light out of everything can even be played in Madolche and obviously Drytron, but that's a no-brainer. Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, a rank 3 generic that used to be played really frequently by Virtual World and also some Salamangreat decks, but the majority of the time people weren't even using it for that monster negation effect, but rather its other effect to give materials to a monster you control, which would be number 86, I think it's 86, Rongominiad. Chapchik's Rafflesia is really similar because just like Bamboozling, it's a generic Xyz monster, but this time a rank 4 monster, and you do have to play 1 card in order to make Rafflesia randomly able to negate Nibiru, and that card is Gravedigger's Hole. So not only would you negate the Nibiru, but you would also make your opponent lose 2,000 life points. Galaxy Ice Photon Lord is another Xyz monster. I know I keep showing you guys Xyz monsters. I'm trying to organize these cards by category. Galaxy Ice Photon Lord can be used in rank 8 strategies such as Blue Eyes in order to negate any kind of monster effects, including in the hand. Another Xyz would be Evil Zor. I think it's Evil Zor, Evil Zar, I don't know how to pronounce them. It's actually a dragon monster. Dolka, yes, can be played in Dinosaur. And speaking of Dinosaur, Miscellaneousaurus is another dinosaur monster that protects your dinosaurs from being affected by card effects. So Nibiru would just not really do much. All of your monsters can't really be tributed, and by the time you summon your first non-dinosaur monster, Dolka, guess what? It's a dragon, but negates monster effects anyways, so you really have nothing to lose. El Shaddoll Winda is another shocking monster that prevents Nibiru from hitting the field, because as long as Winda is on the field, neither player can special summon more than once per turn, and Nibiru actually has to summon twice in order for its effect to resolve, so since it can't fully resolve, it can't even activate in the first place. In a similar fashion, we have Token Collector, a card that is seeing more play now that Sword Soul is being a thing, and this card can be foolished by shooting Riser Dragon or even Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which can be played very well in Burning Abyss. In Pendulums, there is Mythical Beast Jackal King, and we also have Quakimeru Guardian in the Adamancipator deck, which kind of fulfills a similar role as they are on the field and they can do something in order to negate a monster effect. Jackal King is a bit more free. All you really have to do is just give up 2 spell counters, which is easy to achieve, but Quakimeru Guardian, I think you do have to tribute itself, which is a bit more expensive. Now in the Mermaid deck, you can use Deep Sea Minstrel by discarding it and another water monster to look at your opponent's hand and temporarily banish a card until the end of the turn. So if your opponent doesn't have a hand trap, this doesn't really do too much, but if your opponent does have a hand trap, at least you can ensure that your Neptibus and Deep Sea Diva plays will go uninterrupted. Now if you really want to negate Nibiru and not just rip it out from your opponent's hand, well, there is the Wandering Griffin Rider, which is pretty much a 1.5 card combo in the Brave package strategy. So as long as you have access to Rite of Aramesia, you can get, I think it's the Journey of Destiny, to your spell and trap zone, and then search Wandering Griffin Rider, get their Brave token, special summon the Wandering Griffin Rider. So you have 2 monsters on the field, and as long as you have Brave token on the field, Wandering Griffin Rider is an Omni negate by shuffling itself into the deck, can negate pretty much anything, so Nibiru will just not work. However, this only works if you're not trying to use the effect of normal summoned monsters this turn. Speaking of normal summons, if you don't really need your normal summon for your combo, Alistar is a 1-card Merkaba, also gets you that monster in your hand so you can immediately negate with Merkaba any monster effect, so yeah, pretty good strategy here. Virtual World has a lot of ways to play around Nibiru, but now it's especially Soulkin into Crystal Wing or trying to minimize your amount of summons. Crystal Wing usually hits the field on summon number 5, which is absolute perfection, and it's only like a 2-card combo excluding your discards. Now for a pretty sketchy way to counter Nibiru, there's Prohibition. Prohibition, I'm personally not a big fan because you're kind of going in blind with Prohibition. You have no idea what your opponent's hand is unless you had a card to kind of look at it. But if you are calling Nibiru and your opponent doesn't have Nibiru, then you kind of look like a moron because you have a useless neg 1 in your hand. Now last but definitely not least, this is not a card that stops Nibiru, but it's pretty much a card that almost benefits off of getting Nibiru'd, which is Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. If this card is tributed, you can special summon one dragon monster from your deck. That also includes getting Kaiju'd, so you don't really lose anything by getting Kaiju. That's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah, imagine summoning Brotor and then searching Levineer right after getting Nibiru'd. You go for Levineer, you shuffle back a card from your opponent's hand, so your opponent is down from 5 to 3 cards, and then you make another Hieratic Seal. Like, where was the lack of generation of advantage here? It's just ridiculous, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the 20 counters to Nibiru. I really hope you guys were able to enjoy and learn a thing or two, or 20. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys really soon. Peace.